the first time at Showtime at the Apollo was a dream. You know, it's funny because I was a journalist. I was working for the Daily Challenge. So as a writer and a journalist, I was like, I mean, I think who was there? I think Paul, what's his name? Mooney. Paul Mooney was there. I think Lauren, the Roots were there. The Roots were, I think Lauren Hill was there with the Fugees. Brandy was performing. I met Brandy that day. And she was like, oh my God, your poem. And so I was there really as an outsider. I didn't really feel like I was really a participant. So it was scary, you know. And after I won, I cried. You know, I cried. And people are like, Jessica, you cried? I said, I cried because my daddy wasn't there. And I was like, you know, of all the times, the things that I would want him to be here for, this would be it. Because he'd be telling everybody at every truck stop in Detroit. And so it was kind of, I was in a dream state. I won and I was really overwhelmed. And then when I won the second time, I was just done. I was like, what's happening? You know, I'm winning with poems? You know, there was no music, and Steve Harvey and Kiki, they were so happy. That's what, and Ray Chu and the crew, like, they couldn't believe that I was winning. And they were just as excited. Everyone from behind the camera to this day, like, I see them, they're like, they remember that moment. And so it was, you know, and I won that first time. It was 3 days in a row. And afterwards, I just called my mom. I called home. I was like, I just won the Apollo a lot, you know? And so, yeah, it was a big game changer, you know. So that I was nervous and kind of in not realizing the impact. You know, like the stories I hear now to this day. You know, I was doing this when you won the Apollo. My boyfriend was abusive towards me, and I got in an abusive relationship when I heard you do Black Statue of Liberty. You know, like just amazing ways. I mean, just a little girl on Facebook said, I remember you from the Apollo. You came to my school when I was just, you know, 15. And they remember, and they remember. And it means so much because you're just writing a poem. I wrote the poems I did in the Apollo. I wrote on my girlfriend's couch on the west side of Detroit, my best friend Charlotte. I wrote those poems in Detroit. I was just a baby. You know, I wrote them when I was like 19 to 20 years old. You know, who knew that anybody cared what I was talking about? But to get on that stage and for people to respond. And at the Apollo, I mean, everyone has been there. James Brown, Billie Holiday, you know, the legends have touched that, you know, touched that stage and rubbed on that bark. And so that tree stump, you know, and it was just amazing to say, okay, I'm about to be a part of this history. And I've performed at the Apollo since then, so it's been a blessing.